You are eating a standard American diet and you do anything, you're probably gonna get improvement. So if you do a keto diet, a paleo diet, a vegetarian, a vegan, a pescatarian, like you name it. Like if you do any diet, even count macros, like standard American diet towards anything, you're gonna make progress. I feel better, you're gonna get results. So the thing is like we get these people that make a little bit of improvement and they think that, oh my God, like my diet's the only way, like it has to be this way. And like, I'm probably guilty of that 10 years ago. I was a big fan of a paleo type diet, which is the real food diet, meat and vegetables. I still am a fan of that. Now, do I realize that like there's other things that can work for people? Absolutely. But my advice to people, one of my mentors and friends, Sean Croxton, took the term JERF, just eat real food. Sounds simple, but it's like, just eat real food, like meat and vegetables, nuts and seeds, properly raised animal proteins, just eat real food. And there's tons of variations and fun things you can do with that, but it's a little bit more work than buying the packaged food. So here's the thing, like I always start people off, I think one of the biggest misconceptions that people get is, and there's so many really smart people online, and there's tons of people like in the fitness world who are obsessed with calorie counting and macros. And that absolutely works and has a place. So I'm not saying it doesn't work or like that shouldn't be a part of it, but for the person who's like the standard American diet just moving in the right direction, that's kind of overwhelming to weigh and measure all your food. If you're a competitive athlete or you're pretty far advanced, I think that's a good model for the person who likes that. Most people will never be able to stick with weighing and measuring food for any length of time. So what I tell a new client who used to come on and work with me, I would say, hey, look, well, let's do this. I'll give you some parameters, and you can eat whatever you want, as much as you want, but you just have to eat real food. So for the next 3 days, you're gonna send me a picture of everything you eat. You can eat as much as you want, as late as you want, as early as you want. You can do anything, but you can only eat meat and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, no sugar, no processed foods. Let me know how it goes. And they're like, shit, okay, I can do that. Because you don't have to count anything, you don't have to measure anything. Eat as much as you want. I don't give a shit if you have 2 steaks, like every meal. Like you won't, but like you could if you want. So I always tell people, we're gonna do that for 3 days. You're gonna check in with me. And if it goes well, we're gonna extend it for the first 7, and then we're gonna have another phone call. And we're gonna check in. 99.9% of people who do that feel better, and they're like, dang, it was pretty easy. Like I had to prepare food, I had to plan ahead, but it was pretty easy. And I say, okay, here's the deal. Now on week 2, what we're gonna do is we're still not gonna count any calories, we're still not gonna count macros, but I wanna just tighten things up a little. You were kind of going crazy on the fruit, or you had way too many sweet potatoes or whatever. So I wanna get a little bit more aware of a balanced meal. I want you to have a properly raised animal protein with some vegetables and maybe like a small amount of a starch, like a yams or sweet potatoes or squash or something like that, like if it's a dinner. And we get a little bit more dialed in. And then I say, but don't worry, because like we're not gonna start counting calories and macros until like next week. So then they go week 2, all of a sudden they're down like 7-8 pounds in the first 14 days, and they're like, holy shit, this is easy, I can do this. And I was like, I lied to you, we're never gonna count macros and calories, we're just gonna keep doing what you're doing, eating real food. It's working.